Now, normally, I don't like factoring things when there's a negative in front of the x squared. So you might have noticed that throughout the year, whenever I have a negative in front of the x squared, I move it to the other side of the equation so that it makes the factoring easier. This one, we can't move it to the other side of the equation. But what we can do is if we want to start off by factoring out the negative, maybe that'll help us factor everything. So now, with that negative out in front, it's got to be 2x and x. 2 and 1, outside is 4, inside is 1. They would both have to be negative. Step 1. What is our non-permissible value? X can't equal 1. Is that a vertical asymptote or a hole? Very angry at x equals 1. Number 2. What is our highest power in this whole thing? It's an x squared. We have a negative 2x squared on the top. How many x squareds do we have on the bottom? None. This is not possible. And since this doesn't simplify, this is telling us that we have an oblique asymptote, or an orange alligator. How do we find that equation of that oblique asymptote? This is where we have to use our synthetic division. So we set up our synthetic division. We have negative 2, positive 5, and negative 2 divided by x minus 1. What would go outside? Positive 1. Bring the number down. Negative 2, multiply, add, multiply, add. What we are left with here, after we've divided, this means negative 2x plus 3, remainder of plus 1. And we ignore the remainder, and our equation of our oblique asymptote is negative 2x plus 3. Good. We've got our asymptotes. We can now start to graph it. We had our vertical asymptote at x equals 1. And our oblique asymptote at negative 2x plus 3. That's just a line, so you can start with your y-intercept at 3. A slope of negative 2 means down 2 over 1. Once you've drawn both of your asymptotes, we now look for x-intercepts and y-intercepts. If you plug in 0 for x, can you see that you would get negative 2 over negative 1? So we have a y-intercept at 0, 2. If you look at your fraction once it's been factored, and we think about putting in 0 for y, where is our numerator equal to 0? At positive 1/2 and positive 2. There's positive 1/2. Now, our vertical asymptote separates this graph into two sections. Horizontal asymptotes and oblique asymptotes, we're not worried about that separating your graph into sections. But can you see that you have 2 points in this section already? So we can draw our graph towards our asymptotes. Can you see that you have a point in this section already? So again, we can draw our graph towards the asymptotes, and we are done. Domain range. Domain x can't equal 1, but x can be anything else. Our range is everything. Can you see that that graph goes from negative infinity up to positive infinity? Question number 5.